Hey guys, welcome back. Now today's video is something that I have been wanting to put together for a while now, and it is a review on the Perfect Whips by Senka. I feel like I have reviewed and tried and introduced a lot of Senka's products on my channel, but I don't think I've done a full in-depth video for the classic Perfect Whip that basically gave Senka its name. So this classic blue Perfect Whip tube is probably one of the first face cleansers that I ever used in Japan when I was probably like, I don't know, 13 or 14 or something, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and obviously it's something that I still regularly have in my skincare routine. So I thought I will introduce you guys to the classic one as well as the Perfect White Clay that they have, and also the most recent Perfect Whip Collagen In version that they released. I have been trying these out for a few months now. As you can probably tell, most of it is like more than half empty, and I was really trying them out to see what were the differences and to kind of give you guys an insight on what they like and which one would suit your skin the most. So I'll first talk about Perfect Whip in general. Perfect Whip is obviously a foaming cleanser. It is like a paste form when it first comes out, and you foam it up to make it a cleanser. It is not a makeup removal cleanser, so it is more used to wash away oil, dirt and impurities and stuff, and also as your second step of a double cleansing routine. I'm sure most of you guys are aware that Japanese skincare and a lot of Asian skincare, double cleanse is very, very common, where you cleanse first with like say an oil cleanser to get rid of all your makeup, and then you follow up with a second cleanser to get rid of anything else that is left, as well as like getting a bit further into your pores and getting all that stuff out. I know Senka has one cleanser, I think it's called like Double Whip or something, that it is a 2-in-1 where it removes makeup and is like a second cleanser all in one. They have one gel cleanser which does that too, but then the rest are all foaming cleansers or your second step cleansers that they have in their range. So let's talk about what makes Perfect Whip different compared to other brands and their foaming cleansers. So this is all information from their website. The bubble particles or the foaming particles are a lot smaller than other brands and their foaming cleansers. So basically the smaller foam can go deeper into your pores and clean them out better than per se the bigger bubbles. And then the other thing is the ingredients that they use. So they use two main ingredients that are included in all of their products. One, silk essence, and then two, double hyaluronic acid. So double hyaluronic acid is kind of simple enough. They use two different types of hyaluronic acid, and then they use silk essence, which their silk essence is formulated with two parts as well. One is sericin, which is basically on the outside of a silk cocoon, I guess that's what they're called. It is said to have some antibacterial properties. It is very moisturizing, and it also gives that kind of silky smooth texture to the product as well as your skin. And second is hydrolyzed silk, that has binding properties and also helps protect your skin from the outside, plus it is moisturizing as well. So they are the two main active ingredients in all of the products, the silk essence and also the double hyaluronic acid. So the only thing that the Perfect Whip mentions that it is free from, it is added colorants. Other than that, they do not mention anything. All of them have a light, fresh floral scent to them, as it says on the packaging. Now I will go into the different ingredients that they have in the other ones. So as you could have guessed, the Perfect White Clay has white clay in it. The clay in it does help basically get rid of the impurities from deep within your pores, and also helps removal of dead skin cells on the surface. So it does help cell turnover, and that is why they say it's supposed to give you a bit of a brighter look. It's basically a very, very like light exfoliant to your skin. It also does reduce excess sebum, so it's good for people who have slightly oily skin or in the summertime. And then lastly, the Perfect Whip Collagen In as well, very obvious. This one includes collagen in it, so it is supposed to help moisturize even further and also give kind of bounce and elasticity to your skin as well. With the Perfect Whips, there isn't like the biggest difference with the ingredients and such. It's basically just like some add-ons to the regular formula, and it's supposed to help depending on your skin concern or your type of skin. Now I will quickly mention the price difference with these products. This is obviously a bigger size of the Perfect Whip. It was just like a special edition, so I got the bigger size. But if you do compare the regular sizes of the three, I believe these two are about $1 extra, or not even. Normal Perfect Whip, I think if you can get it For cheap it's like 400 yen, and then these two are like 500 and a bit, or up to 600. So it's like an extra dollar or so, but it is definitely not a whole big difference in the price range as well. Now let's have a look at the actual appearance of the product. So looking at the classic Perfect Whip, it is quite a thick texture compared to some foaming cleansers. I'm quite used to this thickness. There's definitely more that are even thicker and others that are thinner, but the thing about the Perfect Whips is it's like silk basically, I guess. Like it stretches and kind of has that tacky texture to it, to all of them, which I actually like. It's like kind of slimy but not like slimy. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a really nice texture to them. They all do have a very similar texture. Appearance wise, the white clay compared to the regular Perfect Whip is actually slightly more opaque. I guess it's that clay in it. Clay usually does have more of an opaque color and not as I guess translucent. And then the collagen in compared to the other two have a slightly more like yellowy beigey texture, and I would say it even has like a slight sheen to it, like a shimmeriness. Even on the packaging of the pink one, it does have like a slight sheen to it, which I think is really cool. But generally the look of them and the texture of them are very similar. Okay, now in this section I'm actually going to show you guys how each of the Perfect Whips foam up. If you are curious, the brand of foaming net I'm using is called Heya. It's just a Japanese brand, and we are going to get very technical with this. We're going to actually get a ruler and measure out 2 centimeters because that is what they recommend on the packaging. First, as you can see by the blue tube, we are testing out the regular Perfect Whip. Don't worry, I have washed the ruler, so it is very clean. First, I'm just going to foam it up for usually about 30 seconds, and then once again I'm going to get very technical and just add 1 teaspoon of lukewarm water just to foam it up a little bit more. I have fast forwarded it here, but it's again about 30 seconds, so all up it just takes about a minute or so to foam up this absolutely lovely foam we've got with the regular Perfect Whip. It is more than enough for your whole face. It is definitely a big handful, and as you can see, very marshmallowy. Even if I do this and kind of pull it apart, you can see I shake it and it literally will not fall off. It is a very dense, fluffy marshmallow like foam, which is amazing. Here's a little bit of a close-up. It shows basically how fine the foam is. There are some larger like bubbles in there, but mostly it is a very fine foam. Next, as you can see by the white tube, we are going to test out the white clay. As I have said before, it's a bit more of an opaque paste compared to the regular one. It honestly just looks like toothpaste. And I will just let you guys know that I usually don't even use 2 centimeters of product. I usually use like half, or like a half and a bit of what I've showed here. So this is like plenty for your whole face. And here is the foamed up of the white clay. Honestly, I think it is actually more product than the regular Perfect Whip. And again, it is very fluffy and like a marshmallow like foam, although I would say it's a little bit looser of a foam. As you can see, like the shape of it kind of breaks down a bit easier, but the actual bubbles are once again super fine, even with that white clay in it. And last but not least is the collagen in version. You can actually see my fingers are starting to get all gross and pruny because I've literally been foaming face washes for like a little while now. But anyway, we're going to do it with the last one. Once again, adding a little bit of water, and we're going to foam it up real good like that. Yeah, okay. Once again, I actually think the collagen in has a bit more foam, like compared to the regular Perfect Whip. Same with the white clay, but it is just as bouncy. I actually find it's more bouncy, and you can see here when I do this and shake it, the foam is more stable. Like it doesn't flop around as much as the white clay. So it's a very bouncy foam with the collagen in, which I love. And again, the foam is just as fine as you can see here. So overall, all 3 of the Perfect Whips actually give a very generous amount of foam for how little product you use. And all 3 foam up to be a very fine but very dense and bouncy foam as well. I thought I would quickly show you guys what it actually is like to foam up just with your hands and without using a foaming net, just so you guys can get an idea and like understand why I use it so much. So here I am just using my hands, adding a bit of water and working on it for probably a bit longer than I would use a foaming net, for like a minute and a half, and that is the amount of foam I get. Like that is it. And as you can see, the foam is not very fine at all. So if you haven't tried a foaming net already, definitely invest in one of those. Alright, now that we have looked at basically all the technical sides, what's in it, the texture, how it foams up and all of that, let's talk about how it actually feels on the skin, because I believe that is what is most important. So I will talk about the classic blue Perfect Whip first. All of them, honestly, all of them clean really well. That doesn't leave any residue, any stickiness, any sliminess or anything to the skin. It does really cleanse very deeply. After you wash it off, it doesn't feel like extremely moisturized, but it doesn't make you dry out. And about 5 minutes later, it does feel slightly tight. It does definitely feel like you need some sort of skincare, but usually I wouldn't even go 5 minutes or barely like 30 seconds without putting on skincare after I wash my face. But just to try it out, I left it for 5 minutes, and it does have a bit of tightness to your skin since it is especially a foaming cleanser, even though it does have moisturizing ingredients in it. But the comfortability, how much it foams up and all that is amazing. Pretty sure you get the idea. I love this product. We will move on to the white clay now. The white clay has a slightly more slimier texture, if that makes sense. It's not as light and fluffy. It has a bit more of like this slimy, silky texture to it. It is to remove like the impurities from your pores, but of course, even with just one wash, it's not really gonna be like magically get rid of all the stuff in your pores. So please don't expect that it is a face wash. I do feel like it definitely does have slightly brightening properties, which I don't think it's actually any ingredients in it. I think it's just the pure fact that it does help shed that surface skin and basically get rid of all the gunk in your pores, so it appears brighter, but I will not say it actually like has any brightening or lightening ingredients in the product to brighten your skin over time. So if you do use other exfoliating ingredients and stuff, compared to that and this, it's probably going to have the same sort of effect, that it's going to make your skin look glowier and brighter, but it doesn't actually change the tone of your skin. It definitely does have a bit more of a matte finish compared to the regular Perfect Whip, because it does have the clay, which does reduce the oil in your skin. And after 5 minutes, again, it does feel slightly tight. You definitely want to throw something on your face, but it is not extremely drying or anything like that. And the last one is the Perfect Whip Collagen In, which I actually really have been liking lately because it is definitely drier back in Australia compared to Japan. Actual formula, when it's foamed, it feels slightly heavier, like there's more weight to it, and not as light, but it's just as fluffy, just as fine with the foam and all of that. Definitely think it is more moisturizing than the other ones. It does leave your skin feeling less dry and all of that, and I feel like it gives your skin this like blurred look when you wash it off. It's like a very light, natural pore filler primer, if you get what I mean. Like, it just leaves your skin feeling like a little bit blurred, a little bit smoother looking, and definitely more moisturized compared to the other Perfect Whips. But after 5 minutes, again, you can feel a slight tightness in the skin. Alright, so my overall opinion of the Senka Perfect Whips is obviously a huge thumbs up. If you do have dry to extremely dry skin, it might not be for you just because it is a foaming cleanser. Something like a milk cleanser or a cream cleanser is going to work better if you do have extremely dry skin, just because the foaming cleansers are formulated to really get in there and get rid of all that stuff. So it can be prone to slightly stripping your skin of your oil. But if you do have normal to combination to oily skin, I definitely recommend the Perfect Whips. They're amazing. The classic Perfect Whip, good for any skin type. I would say even oily skin, it's definitely not going to add like too much moisture or make your skin more oily or anything. It's just the classic good foaming cleanser that pretty much anyone can use. If you do have slightly oilier skin and are concerned of your pores and stuff like that, the white clay is a great one to go for. And then if you are feeling a little bit dry like me at the moment, the Collagen In gives you that extra boost of moisture, and it feels amazing on the skin, and I absolutely love them. Honestly, I would opt for any of these, and just the classic one is something that I'm going to reach for every single time I'm in Japan or in a opportunity to buy it, just because it's a really affordable price, really good product that they've had around for a really long time, and I think it just does the job. And the comfortability, like how amazing it feels on your skin when you're washing it with that like this handful of foam, it's amazing. So if you haven't tried it already, please give the Senka Perfect Whip a go, even though I'm sure most of you have. And if you did like the video, give it a huge thumbs up. Hope I can see you guys around, so please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.